This is a quick core class, and in today's class, all you really need is your mat, but I'm gonna add some ankle weights today to this quick little ab burn. So if you have some ankle weights at home and you wanna add them in for that little bit of an extra challenge, go ahead and grab them now and then meet me back on your mat and we'll get started. All right, so coming onto our mat, we're gonna come into a 4-point kneeling position to start with. So just set yourself up with your shoulders over your wrists, knees right underneath your hips. I've got my toes tucked underneath as well. And I just want you to start by pressing up away from the mat, starting to round into your spine, let your chin fall towards your chest. And then as you release it, looking up towards the ceiling, let the belly hang, let that arch come through your back. And then come back up through that nice rounded back, that cat stretch, push away from the mat. And then let it go. A few more times here, rounding up through that cat stretch. And let it go. Good. Last time here, I want you to hold that cat and gently push your hips back towards your heels, just finding a little bit of space in those lower vertebrae in your back. And bring it back forward, release into that cow stretch. One more time, come up through cat and push back, sending your sits bones back towards your heels. We come forward. Go ahead and release those toes. Take your knees a little bit wider on the mat and sit back into a little rest pose here. Take a couple of breaths. And then I want you to walk your hands across to one side. Let that stretch come through your back. Feel that little pull come right underneath your arm. And we'll walk the hands across to the other side. Sinking into that stretch as much as you can. Walking the hands back to center. Bring yourself back into that 4-point kneeling position. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. So we're gonna come up into a full plank position. So all the way up on those hands and those toes. I want you to take a step into a hover. And from here, we're gonna push back into pike. Coming back into that hover, step back into your plank. And step forward again, hover, push back into pike, come back through hover, step back plank, step back to hover, and push back pike. When you go through that pike, find that nice stretch through the back of those legs, stepping in, push back, back to hover, step back plank, step to hover, and push to pike. Few more here. Let's do 4. Stepping back. Here we go. Here's 1. Pushing back pike. Come back hover. Step back to plank. Come to hover. Push back pike. Good. Hover. Step back to plank. Last 2. Step and hover. Push pike. When you come back to your hover, get your shoulders stacking up over those wrists again. Last one here. Push back. Good. Coming back to hover, you can drop those knees, release the toes, sit all the way back into a rest pose. Nice. Take a couple of breaths here. You can come up and sort of shake those hands out if you need to, because we are going to come back into a plank position. So this time we're going to come plank. And we're going to stay on the same leg for a few rounds of this before we swap over to the other side. So go ahead and come back into your high plank position, bringing one knee in towards your chest. Now, lower down, tap the mat with your knee, scoop back up, and push that leg into arabesque. Scoop the knee to chest, lower, tap the mat, and reach back arabesque. Scoop. Now see if you can really pull that knee off the mat by using those abdominals. Tap, use your breath. Reaching into arabesque. A few more, let's do 4. And reach, back. 3, and reach. Nice, 2, and reach. Last one here, tap. Lift, find that arabesque, lower back down, drop the knees, sit back, rest pose. Quick little relief on those arms before we go to the other side. Nice, coming back forward. Set yourself back up in your plank position, and we can do the other leg. So, into high plank, we pull the knee in towards the chest. We're gonna tap the mat, scoop the knee, and push back. Doesn't matter how high your leg goes back behind you. That part is not important. Completely up to you. Tap, and reach back, pull the knee to chest. Tap. Moving nice and slow with controlled movements today. We're gonna do 4. Tap, reaching back. Good, tap, reaching back. Last 2, go tap. Nice. Last one, we're gonna hit that arabesque, push all the way back. Nice, lower back down, drop the knees. You can sit back into your rest pose. Lovely. All right, so from here, we're gonna come into side plank. So coming onto your side, doesn't bother me which way you start. And we're gonna stay, we're gonna stay up on our hands this time. So shoulder stacking over wrist. We're gonna take the top leg to the front, and we'll start by taking our top hand to hip. So you can see that I've got my top foot flattened into the mat. So push down into that top foot, come up, find your side plank. Now reach your arm up over your shoulder. Nice. From here, we're gonna dip our hips down towards the mat, and then if you can, lift that top leg. Little dip. If the leg lift is too much, leave it out and just dip the hips. Good. Lift. These are tough. Lift. Let's do 4 more. Tap and lift. Little dip of the hip. Draw the hip towards the rib. Lift the leg. Last 2. Coming down. Good. Lift. Nice. Coming down. And lift all the way over. You can drop those knees. Sit back, rest pose. All right, we're gonna do that to the other side before we move on. So I'm just gonna roll to the other side of my mat so I can stay facing you, but do whatever suits you best. Again, we're up on our hand. We're gonna take our top leg to the front, pressing that top foot down into the mat, lifting up into side plank. Start by just dipping those hips down toward the mat and lift that top leg. Dip down, lifting the top leg. Remember, you can leave the leg lift out if it's not happening. That's okay. Maybe you'll try a couple. Just try to meet yourself where you're at today. Lift the leg, dip down, lift the leg. We have last 2 nice and strong. Dip, good, lift the leg. Oh, dip, and lift the leg. I feel like I wasn't as good on this side. That's totally normal. Knees down to the mat, sit back, rest pose. Good. And again, we're gonna come and change sides back into a side lying position. This time we're gonna lie all the way down. Okay, so coming down onto your forearms here. Bottom knee is gonna stay tucked up. Now make sure you have a little bit of room behind you to kind of sweep your leg. We're gonna lift the top leg up, so leg is lifted, reaching your arm overhead. I want you to drop your shoulders in towards the mat as you reach and push your leg behind you. And then come back, draw elbow to knee. Reach out, come back, elbow to knee. Reach out, good, elbow to knee. Breathe. Be mindful of what's happening with that supporting side. Try not to sink down into that shoulder. Reach and squeeze. Reach and squeeze in. Let's do 4. 4, 3, 2, 1 last one. Squeeze it up. Reach back over. Little stretch there. And to the other side we go. So just swivel yourself around. Again, prop yourself up on your forearm, making sure you have that little bit of space behind you to move your leg. Bottom knee is tucked up. Start by lifting that leg, reaching the arm overhead. We're gonna drop the shoulder in, reach forward, push the leg behind, and come in for that crunch. Reach, crunch. Staying nice and lifted out of that bottom side. Crunch, reach, squeezing into that waist. As we bring elbow to knee, make that really intentional. Reach, nice. Reach forward. See if you can reach a little further every time. We have 4. Good. And 3. And 2. Last one here. Reach and crunch back up. Nice job. All right, now we're gonna come all the way down onto our backs, okay? I'm actually gonna turn this way here. And you're gonna lie yourself all the way down onto the mat, bringing your hands behind your head. Now we're going to take the legs up over the hips, nice and long, and see if you can kind of press those lower spinal bones down into the mat, imprinting your spine. Rolling up through head, neck, and shoulders, give me a little chest lift here. Lower your legs about 45 degrees. Now we're going to cross opposite shoulder to knee, and then push back to extension. Cross, reach, cross, holding those legs out at that 45 degree. Now, if that 45 degree hold is too much, you can always come back and do this from tabletop. Cross, cross, few more. Use your breath here. See if you can lift that shoulder a little closer to that knee as you come across. Good, cross. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Go ahead and come on and hug those knees. Okay, from here, we're going to roll ourselves like a ball up into teaser, okay? Now, if you've been working on your teaser and you're not quite hitting it all the way, work on coming up into your boat pose. I will show you both. But let's start by rolling ourselves into a little ball, hugging into those knees, and start to just rock yourself back and forth. Now, try not to rely so much on momentum, and I want you to find that really deep C shape with your belly. So scoop those abs up. Now, this time as you come up, can you balance on your sits bones in boat pose? Rock back. So this is where you can stay if you're working on coming up into your teaser. Again, trying to avoid momentum. Let's see if we can come all the way up, reaching in for teaser, and roll back. Reaching all the way up, roll back, breathe. Good. Let's do 4 more. See, scoop that belly. Good. Last 2 here. Nice, rolling up, reach. 1 more. Hold, 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 whether you're in teaser or boat pose. Good, hug the knees, roll all the way back. Take a moment, use your breath. Good, now from here, we're gonna place our feet onto the mat. And your hands are gonna come back behind your head. So hands behind head, float those knees up into tabletop, and then bring your heels together and open up into a little butterfly position. Rolling up through your head, neck, and shoulders, we're gonna extend our legs as we release this curl. So reach out, release the curl. Breathe, come back in. Reach out. Squeeze. So thinking of bringing those knees out wide to meet the elbows. Reach out. Reach out. Nice. Curl up. Reaching out. A few more. Reach out. Reach out. Let's do 4. Go for 4. Good. And 3. Nice. And 2. And 1 last one. Reaching out. You can bring those knees in. Give them a nice little hug. Lovely job. We're almost there. Good. So roll yourselves up. We're now going to come propped up on our forearms here. So from your seated position, lower yourself down and prop yourself up on your forearms. Bringing our legs up into that tabletop position. Again, try to find that C shape with those abs and scoop that belly up. We're going to reach one leg out and lift it up. Come back down, swap sides. Reach out, lift, come down, pull back into table. Reach out, lift. Good, pull back in. Trying to stay lifted through the chest. Don't sink into those shoulders. Reach, lift. Now, the lower you take your leg through this extension, the harder that's going to become. So if you need to keep it a little higher, that's totally fine. And in reach, lift. Bad news, we're going to do 8 here. Go reach, lift, lower, pull, reach, lift. Keep breathing. Reach, lift, lower. Good. Reach, lift, lower. Last 4 here. Reach. Good. Pull back. Reach. Nice. Pull back. Last 2, guys. Reach. Good. Come back in. Go reach. Nice, pull back in. You can roll yourselves all the way up. Release, have a little stretch there if you like. Okay, so from here, coming back onto your side, please. Back onto your side. Again, I don't really mind which side you start on. We're gonna go into a little oblique teaser here. And then we're gonna come back and try to click our heels. So you can see, propped up on your forearm, I want you to actually take your legs out in front of you a wee bit. And make sure you have some space behind you on the mat. We're gonna roll up here, reaching in for that teaser. See how I've rocked back onto the muscle of my butt cheek. Reaching out, can you click your heels? Coming back into teaser. Good, reaching out, click the heels. Roll up. Reach it out, click the heels. Roll up, good, reach it out, click the heels. Reaching for those toes. Come back, stack the hips up, click the heels. Good, up, nice, click those heels. Come up, good, click the heels, few more. Scoop up, use that breath. Balancing on the hip, click the heels. Do 3. Good, click, come up for 2, good, click, last one, come up, nice, and click the heels, all the way up we come, round for the other side. So again, propping yourself up on that forearm, take the legs out in front of you, make sure you have some space behind you on the mat. So we're gonna rock back off the hip bone, reaching up for those toes. As we reach back out, we lift, click the heels. Reach for the toes, rock back. Keeping that arm extended over your head as you rock back and stack those hips up. Click, come up, good, reach, and click, few more. Come up, good, reach, and click. Good, come up, and reach, and click, keep going. Reach for the toes, balance on that hip bone, click the heels. Do 4, reach, and click. Up, good, reach, and click. Last 2, come up, good, reach, click. Last one, up, good, reach, and click those heels. Lovely. We have one more exercise to go. And we're gonna come back down onto our backs, okay? So some leg circles to finish in a nice little ab curl position. So hands are down on the mat. Start by bringing your feet up into tabletop, and then roll up through head, neck, and shoulders, reaching your fingertips past your hips, lengthen those legs. So we're up in this chest lift, squeezing into those abs. You're gonna lower your legs down, split circle round. Now take them back into the other direction, lifting those toes back over the hips. Lower down, circle side, good, and lift back up. Lower down, split, come to the top, and come back down. Breathe. Lower down, circle, nice, lift up, lower down, circle, good, lift up, let's do 4, go lower, nice, circle, down, circle around, lift up, last 2 here, breathe, good, circle, see if you can find a little bit more range this time, circle, good, and lifting up, hug those knees. Okay, I think that's enough. I don't know about you. My abs are cooked. We'll roll over for a quick little stretch here, a little release. So when you're ready, rolling over onto that tummy. Hands just right to the outsides of the chest. Release your toes here, sort of tilting the pelvis down into the mat. We're just gonna lift up through a little up stretch and release those abs. Now, if that's too much for you, lower your forearms down onto the mat and just make it smaller. A little bit less lift, a little bit less extension through the spine. Try to look up towards your ceiling if you can. And again, if you wanna come up further, deepen the stretch, by all means do so. Good, lower down. Let's come up one more time. Lower down, good. Pushing yourself back, rolling all the way up, and that's it, guys. Quick abs. Hope you liked it.